I think this might be the first time I've promised Kevin that I would record an episode with him out in at least the last 2 years, and I'm actually executing it. There have been multiple times where Kevin's busy doing something, and I'm like, yeah, I got you. And then he gets back from vacation, and he's like, hey, how'd it go? And I'm like, oh, right. I was supposed to do that. So, Kevin, you're welcome. You know, sometimes the clutch player got to come in clutch, and that's what I'm doing right now. And Chase, in this case, is the clutch player. Thank you, Chase, for joining us today. We are going to be talking a little bit of NBA news in the fact that we're changing some rules. The Kawhi stuff still kind of lingering out there, and the Knicks are seemingly doing what everybody wants them to do in a way that they don't want them to do it. And so that's how we'll go about this. So, you know, we're going to warm up with the new rule change. The NBA is going to implement, and it's starting in the 25-26 season. So it's like pretty much starting immediately. Unsuccessful end of period heaves will now be recorded as a missed field goal attempt for the team and not the player. This is reported by ESPN. Those big heaves, half-court heaves, whatever you want to call them. I know from Driving Dish podcast past, there's one, and I don't necessarily know if it counts as a heave, but there's one Blake Griffin did against the Suns that was always a big talking point for us because of Tim's love for the Suns. But this rule obviously comes out and protects the individual player's stats, which rubs me the wrong way, but we can get into that a little bit. It risks creating some skewed analytics, you know, especially in players past who didn't have this perk. Obviously, the first person everybody kind of goes and talks about is Steph Curry, who is just taking monstrous threes. If you were to retroactively apply this new rule to his career, he would go from only a 42.3% shooter to a 42.8% shooter. So shout out to him for still being that amazing at three-point volume, but it just kind of shows it's not like a massive impact. So Chase, I want to get your thoughts on it. I didn't really think this was a thing that players really wanted changed or a thing that needed to be a topic of discussion.
I'm glad that there is the rule change because one of the things that always frustrated me would be like at the end of the quarter, somebody gets a 2 or something with like 0.5 seconds left. They pass it in and then they just dribble. And it's like,
at least throw it.
Like to me, it's, I don't want to say like, I hate quoting him, loser mentality from, what's his face? Wow, I'm blanking on his name. Just played ball in Israel. Instigator.
I mean, I feel like that's a lot of people.
Subscribe to the podcast, and then he kicked out a reporter.
This just happened?
No, this happened last year or 2 years ago, and I don't like him. Wow, it's too early in the morning for me.
Yeah, you just woke up.
I just woke up. Yeah, but like it's one of those where like, to get to my main point, it's this idea that if you're trying to win, you would have gone for the shot. And if you didn't do that, it's a very selfish play that you're just dribbling the ball instead of at least like half court, three-quarter court heave.
But is it any different than, and I feel like this happened like a year ago or something like that, where Andre Drummond talked about how he would miss shots intentionally to get more rebounds. Like, is it any different than that? Like, because that's Andre Drummond was there for rebounds, really. And so he was just making sure he was getting that next paycheck.
I mean, I think that's also a bit crazy as well. But I think that's that's just like a rare one case as opposed to the overwhelming majority.
Sure.
If it helps improve that aspect, then yes, I applaud the NBA for at least making the rule change because it is frustrating.
Sure. But then I guess to play devil's advocate, there could be a potential argument that players might even be less likely to do this now because they don't want to impact the team's shooting percentage for the season, because it will still count as a miss for the team and not the player. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't think it will actually impact stats crazy. Like, for example, the article that I saw talked about a bunch of guys, big name guys that you would imagine are taking a lot of these half-court heaves at the end of games. Kobe Bryant took 54 in his career, and he only ever made one. So, like, obviously the percentages are not great. Carmelo actually never made one, which is kind of wild when you think about it, but he attempted 45 of them. Vince Carter was 2 for 52 in his career. J.R. Smith was somehow he's on this list. He attempted 57 career heaves, and he only started 40% of the time in his career. So that's why that 57 is kind of surprising. But then you go to other players that this article that I was reading deemed them buzzer beater cowards, and I love that. Like James Harden, right? He's only had 18 in his 16 NBA seasons. The dude shoots everything. He
shoots everywhere else except for beyond half court with only 0.5
with a second left. Yeah, he doesn't want to. But do we think it's because it'll hurt his percentage? I don't know. Westbrook's only taken 16 in the 17 seasons. Again, is kind of surprising. Kevin Durant's only taken 9 in 17 seasons. So I don't know if this gets them to do that. And I also don't know if I really care for them to do it. I'm with you. At the end of the game, if it's that close, at least throw it out there. But I guess if you're down by 5 and it's the end of the game, there's no point to do it. It's not like you're going to win.
I mean, by the way, Pat Bev. That's who I was forgetting.
Oh, Beverly. Okay.
Yeah, Pat Bev. Bleep Pat Bev. Orlando Magic legend. And so it's, to me, though, when you say, it affects team stats, when it comes to contract negotiations, nobody's looking at team stats. They're looking at individual stats. Right. And so that was the whole reason behind it. They didn't want to ruin their shooting percentage for that next contract. And so, and I understand, I guess, the idea of, if I keep doing these heaves, all of a sudden it's going to slowly tick away at my shooting percentage. But I still think it's selfish in the mindset of, if this is supposed to be a game that we need to win, you need to try everything. It's why we foul people in the fourth quarter to help get.
It does keep it a little close. Do you think we get to a point where, like, in like hockey, you've got the enforcer guy that'll be the one that goes into fight? Do you think there's a guy that's going to be the designated heave guy, so that now, because teams know it could, again, this is so like devil's advocate, but if you're a team and you know this will impact your team's percentage, why wouldn't you just set one specific guy on the team? You are always the heave guy at the end of games. Practice this and get this percentage, I don't know, to a 10% success rate.
I feel like if they're the heave guy, then they're automatically the 3-point shooter. That's exactly why Magic traded for Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane's going to be the heave guy. He's going to be the one that starts jacking up threes. I think it's like, if they had that, then they would have gone with that in the first place. I think eventually, because of Steph Curry, people are just going to start slowly back up more and more and start shooting more, because it's like, all right, Steph is just already just heaving up.
What counts as a heave? So now it's not going to impact my percentages.
Yeah. It's like, we need to start changing that definition slowly but surely, because eventually we're going to start jacking up threes from your own free throw line just because you know you could.
There's always that one team. Usually it's like middle of the pack team that kind of only ever wins close games or loses close games. Just always the games are close. I wonder if their field goal percentage will look worse on paper because they are in those situations where they might actually be taking multiple heaves throughout the season, almost every game. If it's close like that, like maybe there are more heaves, and that potentially would bring the team shooting down, because it is, like we said, we talked about it, all these big time name players, it's like a 1 to 2% success rate on making this shot. So it's not great.
I think it's, how we have certain phrases for certain players where it's like, this guy's a glue guy, this guy, ultimate team player. Eventually the game's going to evolve where like, man, like heave guy, like you're going to hear J.R. Smith, like
heave guy, big heave guy. Designated hitter, we got the heave guy. I'm just saying, if we're 3 weeks into the season and I hear one post-game report where they're like, why didn't you throw that shot at the end of the game? And he says, I didn't want to hurt the team's stats, I'm going to be so upset. and be like, this is what we didn't want to have. And now we already have that excuse out there.
Well, I would have thought with advanced analytics the way they are now, like teams would automatically like have the ability to track like, oh, hey, by the way, you're shooting from here. We could easily tell you're shooting from 3/4 court because it's a heave. We're going to deduct that from your stats.
Yeah, take that out of the stats. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that would be the case as well. I'm just saying, if I hear it in a post-game interview, I'm going to be very upset. I will not be happy.
Oh, yeah.
So either way, this is the Drive and Dish NBA podcast. Thank you for joining us and talking heave stat percentages and what the impact of the 2025-2026 season could mean for that. I do think it's weird. It's one of those things where I am very confused as to like why that was changed. But either way, you can follow us on any podcasting platform. You can subscribe. You'll get notifications when new episodes coming out. Kevin and I should be back together next week. If I'm not mistaken, he's in like Italy or something like that. So communication has not been great. And also I don't want to ruin his vacation by texting him. So hopefully he'll be back next week. And if not, we'll figure something out again. We are also on YouTube. You can find us on Drive and Dish NBA on YouTube. We do video versions of the podcast, and which will be more the end of the episode where we kind of hit the Immaculate Grid stuff, which looks to be an easier one. There's a 76ers category. I'll just put that out there. So, like, we're going to body this thing, I'm pretty sure.
I gotta hope so.
Yeah, it'll be kind of embarrassing if we don't. And then it'll really give Kevin some bragging rights to be like, see, I'm the one that drags us across the finish line. So I'm really going to need you to step up on that. But like we said, subscribe on YouTube. You can find us there. Now, a quick word from our sponsors. So we come back with a little Kawhi update because it's still ugly out there. It's not looking great. The most recent, I guess, update of this. I guess for anybody that doesn't know, they're investigating allegations that the Clippers attempted to skirt around the salary with a company that is now bankrupt. It's also worth mentioning, which has allegedly paid Kawhi Leonard $28 million with no promotional work required, which does probably raise some red flags. Adam Silver pointed out that they're, hiring a law firm to look into this. The more recent part of the updates is, and if you want to hear Kevin and I's full thoughts, you can go back to the last episode where we kind of really deep dove into this situation and what was being reported. As of now, the updates to that is there's a report out of Toronto that alleges Kawhi Leonard's camp did ask for improper payments from the Raptors back in 2019. Apparently, that was when they were negotiating with Kawhi following the NBA Finals. They didn't really say what it was, but apparently it was about a $10 million something in payments outside of the NBA contract for no-show jobs and land ownership stakes in companies owned by the Maple Leafs Sports Entertainment, including the team. So that's interesting. Pablo Torre has also said that if you go back to Q3 of 2022, the payment was supposed to, this is with the Clippers now, the payment was supposed to arrive to Kawhi at his camp in October and November, but it wasn't paid until December 15th. And that is after the Clippers owner invested $2 million to potentially, again, allegedly pay Kawhi's 1.775 that was supposed to go to him at that point. The game logs for that season in 2022, again, according to Pablo Torre, is he played 7 of the 27 games before December. During that week and after that week, when the payment was finally arrived, Kawhi then played in 45 out of the 55 remaining games of the season. Now, you can't claim injury, so that's fine. We can go down that route. But that's a 22% play rate to a 82% play rate. Again, you can theorize what might have changed or what might have helped. Again, there was injury, at least reported. So that is part of this. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but man, oh man, it does not look good.
Yeah, it's such a bizarre story, and I feel like this is also such a Clippers story too, where it's like, hey, how can we compete with the Lakers? All right, we'll bring in this big guy. How can we do it? I don't think we have the money for it. Oh, I got a way. Allegedly, of course. Like, it's...
Yeah.
How it's already tough being the Clippers because you're drastically overshadowed by the Lakers. No matter how bad, no matter how good you are and how bad they are, it's always a Lakers town. But I'm really curious to see what the repercussions here if all of this becomes true, because I feel like one, this is all like Clippers ownership probably might get kicked out and have to sell the team. Also, what happens with Kawhi Leonard? Because I feel like this also is a punishable offense too. Now, granted, you could say they should have done the right thing and said no, but at the same time, I kind of look at it like a drug deal. Like, yes,
you don't have much of a choice.
My crack dealer could have told me, hey, no, this is illegal, but he still sold me the crack. So I feel like there has to be some repercussions.
You want some of this good basketball play?
Exactly. Which I feel like also is like, I feel like the crack dealer is also the crack seller, and they're both the Clippers. Like, I feel like so you could just, pick and choose who you want in this analogy. But I feel like there has to be some form of repercussions for why, if this is true.
And again, it's just something I vaguely remember talking about the podcast when Kawhi was on the Spurs. I feel like there was a point where the Spurs were saying he's healthy enough to play, and he was saying, no, I'm not. And I remember us being like, is it a mental thing where like he's not past it? And I'm not saying it's involved in this at all, but like, what if that's kind of part of this conversation where these moments of Kawhi's career past where we're like, the team's saying he's healthy and he's saying he's not ready, is like, is that because there was some other stuff going on now? And again, like your point, where does this put Kawhi in everybody's mindset? Is I think now this is what will happen is we won't know, and we probably won't believe Kawhi, again, if this is true, when he claims injury, because that's what we've had the past few years. That's what we had in San Antonio for sure. And now Toronto is coming out and saying that this was at least something that was brought up. I don't know if there was anything to it, but again, it's all allegations until something comes through. But yeah, it's not looking good. And I do wonder if this turns into like a Pandora's box, because I promise you, if Kawhi's asking for this stuff, there's no way it's not asked from other players, in my opinion.
You're probably right. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like you see that with Miami with LeBron and D-Wade. You might see it also with like, I don't think the Lakers would actually do it, believe it or not. I feel like, but you could also see like these potential failed big three teams during that time. But like, going back to the Kawhi thing, like that what was crazy about that saga during San Antonio was just the fact that like when San Antonio was like, oh yeah, he's good to play, and he said no, and it wasn't like Tom Thibodeau was his coach. It was Greg Popovich, who's always been a player's guy and also like is very concerned about the well-being of his players. So like him and his staff saying that he's good and then him saying no, it kind of now raises even more red flags in comparison, just looking back to that saga.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think I think that's what people will do. If this comes out and is a true thing or something that was put out there, I feel like the ramifications, obviously, in terms of people getting in trouble, the Clippers and Kawhi will get in trouble. But I feel like it'll leave a weirder and I don't know why I feel this, but I feel like Kawhi is going to get the one that gets the worst like mark for this. People will be like, oh my gosh, dude. Whereas like Clippers, they'll lose picks, they'll lose money, whatever it is, like they're going to get hit hard. And that wouldn't surprise me. But I feel like a few years down the line, everyone will move on. But like Kawhi, if this is true and you bring him up years down the line, this is what people will talk about. Probably more than like, wow, he went to Toronto and won them that ring.
Is he going to be the new Pete Rose for the NBA?
I don't think so. I don't think it'll go that bad. But I think people will associate him with this issue more than the on-court stuff, which obviously was top 5 player in the league at most times. So I'm very interested to see where it goes. But even with him in general, the consistency and the availability is a concern, and now people will look at that and be like, is the consistency and the availability actually injuries, or was it some side gig pushback. I don't know. And that's the part that's going to be the weirdest part to go back on if and whenever we get a ruling on this. And hopefully, I do hope that it's all just smoke and mirrors and nothing's there, and we can just be like, that was a really weird allegation. But man, oh man, there's a lot of smoke here, and you know how the saying goes. So that part makes me wonder.
Yeah.
So let's talk less allegations and more of a team that probably will be the number one team in the East. I feel pretty good feeling that way. I feel like they probably only really have one potential team that could push them out of that, but I would say the general consensus is the Knicks are going to be the team in the East next year. They just added Malcolm Brogdon to the team. It's a 1-year deal, so very low risk, veteran ball handling. I know there was some conversation about Ben Simmons earlier this summer. I think most people would agree to go with Malcolm Brogdon over Ben Simmons, which is a wild thing to be able to say at this point, especially if you go back a few years. But Brogdon's 32. He's a 9-year vet, shooting a 38% from three for a career. Obviously, injuries are a worry. He's had a bunch of hamstring, knee, foot, ankle stuff going down. Just 63 appearances over the last 2 seasons with the Trailblazers and the Wizards. But to the Knicks side of this is what the Knicks needed to do, right? They needed to bolster their depth. And that this move is just one of many that really does do that. Their core pretty much stays intact. And then you add Malcolm Brogdon, Jordan Clarkson, Landry Shamet, a bunch of these guys to help the Knicks team, who very clearly ran out of steam at the end of the season last year. And really the year before that, it felt like. So I think this is the move you had to do. The head coaching stuff, I think, is still debatable. Mike Brown stepping in as the coach, fine, but I don't necessarily feel like that's a massive change to what you had last year. I feel like you probably could have not done that and still added these players, and we'd feel the same way. So good for the Knicks. I do think they will be the team to beat in the East next year.
Yeah, I think they're going to be at least the number one team in the East going into the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to come out of the East, just because that's where you kind of see the depth come into play. And
Sure.
That was a very shallow team last season. Now, granted, I feel like part of that shallowness comes from the way Tom Thibodeau coaches his team.
Sure.
And so I think that's part of it. But yeah, like Malcolm Brogdon, like we're 3 years removed from him winning a 6-Man of the Year award. And like the thing is, yes, you mentioned his availability. He was also on really bad teams. And I feel like I don't want to use his stats against him. Like he was still on the Portland team that got rid of Damian Lillard, so they're still rebuilding. He was on the Wizards last year, who are the Wizards.
And they had just gotten rid of Kuzma, so they were clearly rebuilding.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they've been rebuilding for the past. What year is it now?
Wizards?
They've been rebuilding.
The Wizards have been rebuilding since we started this podcast. I think it was 12 years ago. Oh no, we're like 12 years ago on this podcast.
They've been rebuilding since they became the Wizards. Like that's the
fair.
thing.
When was the? I'm gonna actually see if ChatGPT can give you this answer. When was the last time the Wizards had a winning?
I want to say it was during like the Nene era.
They've had to have had a winning season the last 10 years, right?
I think so, but I think it's like a barely winning.
Let's see.
All right.
Yeah, 2018, they were the 8th seed in the East, 43 and 39. Again, I gotta check that, but that sounds like it. Oh yeah, John Wall, Bradley Beal was still there, so that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's at least something there. But
yeah, cool. You made it to the 8th seed in the East. That's like the 10th seed in the West.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's generous, by the way, that 10th seed.
I
like the move. It's a veteran move, really. It's not a splashy one, but it's still, I think, a key piece to at least help you. And I think also Mike Brown's system might help get more longevity out of players instead of like limping to the finish line or also just straight up dying, because that's what we kind of just saw them sputter out toward the end. And so I like the move. It's weird that we had to say that, like, oh, it's either them or Ben Simmons, because I mean, that Ben Simmons is just it's a frustrating point. Are we at that point in the offseason now where we're just like, oh wait, we're in September now? Hey, Ben Simmons right now has been putting in work. Like, is that where we're at right now in the offseason?
Pretty much. But I also think it's because he's come out and talked about how he may retire, which is, again, a wild thing to see how far we've come. And I've never seen it with a player where you can literally go back to one specific play, like that missed layup or under the basket, like not shot attempt and pass out. That was the moment. That was where everything unconnected for whatever reason, for him or his career or whatever it is. Like, it's such a wild thing to be able to go back and say that moment, that specific spot caught on video and the city reacting to you not going up and taking that shot is what did it in, kind of.
I remember a Gatorade commercial. Bear with me on this one. There was a Gatorade commercial where they talked about like that last half second. And so they show all these highlight plays, but they altered them to where they have like the opposite results. So, like a throw from, in baseball, like a throw from the outfield to the catcher to get a guy out, and the person was safe or something. And then like, oh, someone got crossed over and they end up falling. And they're like, is it in you? And then they drink Gatorade, and then you get like the spectacular result, like Jordan actually making a shot and all that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I look at that play as if like it's that commercial where I just think if they dunk it, what happens to just that whole thing where it's like, if he just had it in him.
It's the butterfly effect, dude. If he did that dunk and say we win that game, what changes? There could be so many different, like, again, it's all what ifs at that point, but
oh yeah,
we would be, I mean, we'd have flying cars at this point. You know what I mean? Like, we'd have condos on Mars. I think we'd be out there. I know aliens are apparently visiting us with this new meteor thing, if anybody wants to go down that conspiracy theory. But like, yeah, he makes that shot, and like I have a vacation house on Jupiter apparently.
I think if he makes that shot, the Eagles don't win the next Super Bowl because
don't tell Philly that. I think Philly would prefer the Super Bowl
because the Sixers would win the championship and the entire city would just burn down. So I want to say, Ben Simmons, thank you for just getting the yips and therefore saving the city. That's probably what happened.
Knowing
Final Destination style, he saw the destruction. He said, "Nah, fam," and he just.
I can't do that to a whole city. No, I think honestly, and Kevin probably backed me up on this. I think if you asked any Philly sports fan, you could have a finals championship or the Super Bowl. I promise you, 92% of them are saying the Super Bowl. I'm almost positive about it.
That's an interesting question. Like, I mean, like ranking a city's fandom.
Football's just bigger. In general, football's bigger. So I think that would be the case. If I'd be like the way Philly is, I bet it's Super Bowl. Well, it's probably football, then baseball.
Really?
Yeah.
Phillies over the Sixers.
Phillies are so good right now, dude. The city is buzzing about it. Like, they are so pumped about this team. And then it's probably basketball and hockey are real close, but they would be third and fourth.
But we have to think of also at that time. So if, let's say,
baseball, Phillies were big at that point, and I know the Eagles were what? They went the next year?
I think they won the next year. But so if they won the next year, so then you have a winless Eagles team. Then you also
who's
have
never won. Yeah.
So now you have to ask the question.
Yeah.
Like, now that we've established the scenario, would you rather have an Eagles Super Bowl win or a Sixers?
I promise you, it's Eagles. I promise you, it's Eagles. I promise. I can almost guarantee it's Eagle.
I'm surprised. I'm kind of surprised because I feel like the Sixers have a more legacy to the city. I could be mistaken. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a Philly fan. I'm just still surprised just to hear that, like, oh yeah, they'll take Eagles.
Because that was
92-8.
You got to remember that was the Eagles' first one. Like that was it. That was the city wanting it bad. Like,
and then we discover we have to grease up light poles, and Philly's like, that's going to stop us.
You would have to do that regardless of what team's winning at that point. Like the Phillies, whatever they clinch, because they're about to be able to when the Phillies are about to clinch the NL East. So I'm pretty sure they'll probably have to grease the poles at that point too. If they haven't already, they have like a 9-game lead or something like that. The Phillies, people are buzzing, dude. People are really excited about the Phillies right now, at least in Pennsylvania.
I saw that they won against the Mets. I was at work, and I saw that like the Mets put up 4 in the first. Like, ooh, this isn't good. And then I saw somebody post on Twitter, oh, typical Mets loss. I'm like, oh, they didn't score the rest of the game.
That's about how it goes. As of Phillies will clinch the NL East with their magic number reaches 0, which as of September 13th, so today, three more wins.
3 more wins. All right.
3 more wins, which they could potentially clinch as early as tomorrow recording this podcast if they sweep the Royals and the Mets.
Welcome to the Pitch and Hit podcast.
Yeah, baby. Let's go. Phillies. Bryce Harper.
Philly cheesesteaks.
Listen, those are legit, and the other part is the Philly soft pretzels are a thing. So
Bradley Cooper,
dude, when I went back home to Jersey, I got some Northern pizza for the first time in forever, and bro, when I tell you I was missing it, it was, oh my god, I didn't realize how much I was missing it. You take that first bite of that crunch, and you're like, oh Lord, this is Florida ain't got nothing on Northern pizza. I don't know what it is, man. I'm just putting it out there. But let's hurry along here and get into Ballin and Fallin, our part of the podcast where we're talking about some things that are on the rise in the NBA and some things that are on the down in the NBA. We start positive, so we'll start with Ballin. Chase, I'll let you go first. What is your Ballin today?
Magic Euroball player.
Of course, it's Magic.
Yes, if I'm going to do a podcast with noted Magic hater Justin Kuzart, I have to throw in the Magic support somehow. Right now, a bunch of players from the Orlando Magic are playing Euroball right now. Franz Wagner's been having over 20 points the last 3 games. Tristan Silva put up big points against Great Britain. They both have Germany in the finals right now against Turkey, depending on when this goes live. That game is Sunday. Also, Goga Bitadze up helping out the Georgian team, putting up 20 points, somehow discovering a 3-point shot. I don't know where this came from.
Yeah, you want that.
Yeah, and so I like the Euroball games just because it kind of keeps both the players healthy and also like kind of in shape going into the season. But it's been nice kind of seeing them just like take charge. Like Goga Bitadze is one of the best players, and it's kind of weird saying that because you kind of associate him as like a role player here.
Sure.
But just seeing them just like kind of get that edge and build up their confidence, I absolutely love it.
How many more wins will the 76ers have than the Magic next year?
That's a good question. I mean, how many games does Joel Embiid have played?
That's a fair question. That's a fair question. Because the Magic 40, what were they last year? They were 41-41. They were 500, I think.
Yeah.
So they're 41-41. The Sixers were 24-58.
I mean, like the thing is, like I've always said that the Sixers team is a good team. They just get plagued by injuries. The problem has been they are hampered by the availability of Joel Embiid.
Yep.
And so at that point, like I think I've thrown it out to you and I've thrown it out to Kevin, you know, at what point do you try to move on from him? Because like, you can't, it's not a sustainable system anymore.
No, but I don't think they will.
Tyrese Maxey, and so
and McCain will be good. I do like the young guys for the Sixers. I am genuinely curious as to what I think next year is going to be a very, very eye-opening season for them, especially with how wide open the East is. Like I think the Knicks and Cavs will probably be the top 2, but Celtics, Bucks are also going to be dealing with injury problem. Pacers too, injury problems. So that leaves it wide open for the Magic to potentially pop into that 3rd spot. I think if you have a healthy Sixers, you talk about the Sixers in that 3, 4, 5, 6 range. But again, if not, they are down at the 13, 14, 15 range. So Pistons, I should give them all the credit in the world. They're definitely going to be up there. I don't want to miss that. I think Pistons will have a better record than the Magic next year. They'll be close though. They'll still be like a 6-7, but maybe it's like a 4-5 or a 3-4 type situation in my mind. I think they will. The Pistons and Magic will be very similar. They're going to have same trajectory for a while in my mind, just because they're both young, developing teams that are looking promising. So
yes,
I
think 3-4. I think I could still see the Sixers possibly being like a not play-in team. Like I think they can make the playoffs if Joel Embiid at least plays half the season. Sure. I think you could possibly be a 5-6, possibly 4 if it's surprising. Anyway, you're balling.
My ballin's going to Wemby, who is trying to help the Spurs launch a supporters section. Apparently, he got this idea from soccer. And so what he wants to do is hold tryouts, essentially. He's holding like a meeting for this group. It's actually happening tomorrow for anybody that listens in the Spurs area. Wemby and the Spurs are looking for some high-energy fans who can commit to at least attending 75% of the team's home games this season, plus are willing to participate in chants and rituals while supporting with passion and respect. It is a $1,000 membership to be in this club, but it'll have discounts and chances to meet special guests. I would assume that means players and coaches. I don't know who the hell else it's going to be. The group's going to vote on its own name. So I like this idea. I do. I really do think this is a fun idea. I don't think you should let the group vote on its own name, only because if you're the Spurs, you could sponsor this thing. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't call this section the Wembassy, I'm going to be upset.
Ooh, I like that. Because I initially thought like Wembenrama. Like that's
the Wembassy, the corner. It's the Wembassy. Oh, especially if Wemby's like behind it. He's the future of the team. The other thing you could call it is like the stretch zone, just because Wemby's so big. Go get it sponsored by Stretch Labs, and now you're making money on top of it. And maybe you can make the membership $750 for the season or something. But I'm telling you, the Wembassy is like, let's get on that right now. Wembassy. For the Spurs, right behind the basket. They'll have chants and stuff to distract the free throw shooters. It'll be great. It'll be a whole thing.
Yeah, I got nothing after Wembassy. I feel like Wembassy is like, that's the top tier. But the thing is, every time you have voting, it's going to be like Wemby with Wemby face or something Wemby like that.
Face. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't let them pick. You can't let them pick. You could also go like Planet Wemby. If you're going with the Wemby angle, the Wemby wall, the Wemby's watchtower, like you can do something like that. You know what I mean? Spurs squad probably also makes sense in case Wemby's not the way you want to focus on it. Coyote crew, because I think Coyote is their the mascot. The Alamo Army, like, you know, you could get some stuff going.
I feel like because I know that he's kind of embraced the whole alien aspect, but I feel like right now we probably shouldn't be talking about aliens.
Listen, we should be talking about aliens. We're about to get visited. I'm just saying. Planet Wemby, the Alien Alliance. Let's go.
That's not where I was going, especially when you're in Texas.
Okay, fair enough. The Eiffel Tower, Wemby's Wonderland. Let's go.
What? You're just gonna have like an animatronic Wemby just like walking,
just in the corner, waving its hand up and swaying back to the side.
And it eats children.
Oh, all right. Well, that took a turn. But either way, that's our the ballin portion of this. So let's take a sadder turn, I guess. My fallen's going to Jason Collins. Came out as having to undergo a brain tumor. His family posted that on Thursday. He's going treatment for a brain tumor. That's a bummer. He was the first openly gay player, and he is an ambassador for the league now. I believe he retired in 2014, 13 years in the NBA, had stints with the Nets, Grizzlies, Timberwolves, Atlanta, Boston, Washington. I believe he lives in Brooklyn now as well. So, wishing him the best in that recovery, but a bummer to hear and not fun news to have to, talk about.
Yeah, it's really sad. Hopefully he gets better. Mm-hmm. My fallen on a different note is Adam Silver. Now, when asked about how expensive it is to not only go to an NBA game, but to watch the NBA because of all the streaming platforms it's on now.
Yep.
Peacock, Prime, and ESPN, like ESPN have their own streaming platform. He said, quote, he started by saying, we're going to be essentially exposed on broadcast television to 75 now. He's talking about measurements and all that.
Sure.
And so and he adds, you can add rabbit ears and you can still get 75 marquee games, and essentially free for the marketplace. I'd say in addition to that, there's an ongoing issue for the league. There's a huge amount of our content that essentially can consume for free. I mean, it's very much a highlights-based sport. And
sure.
I feel like it was a very disingenuous answer because of the fact that, like, before, you really essentially didn't need to spend any money. You could have gotten Rabbit Ears, and you could have gotten on NBC. You could have gotten it on
TNT and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, TNT I think was still like a little. You had to get like a cable box, but then
okay.
So you had to get a cable box which had ESPN, TNT, and then you had no problem. And then you had also the local broadcast channels. Now it's costing more money essentially to watch this.
Sure. I feel like it's happening across the board with sports in general. Like we're seeing it with football and
But like as the NBA has been a very good progressive league, like the NFL doesn't really deal with that as much because they're still on Fox, NBC, and CBS.
But the Thursday night games, that's Amazon, and that's where people gave them pushback. I know there was a Jags playoff game that was on Peacock, and I remember that was a big deal at one point. But yeah, no, I agree with you. Silver said, "Get out of here with your poor people thoughts."
Yeah, essentially, and I hate highlights based because it's the fact that like there's a clip going around on Twitter that's like, "Oh, Darvin Ham was a real baller." It's like, no, he wasn't.
I mean, I would say baseball more than basketball is a highlights based. I could watch a TikTok reel of a Phillies game and get the gist of what happened.
Yeah, especially like it's so like you don't get a lot with highlights when it comes to that. Like you don't understand flow. Like you're better off just reading a box score, but even still, like box scores can be misleading.
Very much so, especially now that team stats are going to be impacted by half-court heaves.
Yes, exactly.
No, I agree with you. I don't know how you fix it. I think this is the way things are going, and teams are just going to experiment with this, or leagues are going to experiment with this because people are leaning into the streaming world more and more, and cable is becoming less and less every day. Like, I think it's just going to be a necessary evil. And, maybe it gets to a point where it is a pay per game type situation. And I hate that, but we'll see. You're just going to have to wait and see where this road travels, because again, like you said, I think NBA, NFL, MLB, everybody's looking into it and figuring out what this new world in digital is, essentially. So I would give us 12 minutes.
All right.
At most to house this immaculate grid.
All right.
So I'm going to share it with you. I think we can get it done. Because it's a lot of stats, and that means we have a lot of guys to work with, and it's a 76ers category. So if I don't get this, I should have my fandom revoked. So here we are. Reading it across the board from left to right, we got 76ers. We got one block per game in a season, and then the one right next to it, one steal per game in a season. And then going down the square, we've got Lakers, we've got Bulls, and we got first-round draft picks. So, Chase, Kevin usually throws it to me, so I'll throw it to you as to where you would like to potentially start this process.
I mean, easily I could go 76ers first-round draft pick. You could just go Ben
down
Simmons.
The line. We probably should do it just out of, respect for his career.
Yeah, I know it's not exactly the most stellar answer, but right now,
it was 10% though. It's still not.
What?
Not a lot.
Do people forget?
Yes.
Is this where we're at now?
Yeah, people are definitely forgetting about him. Yes.
Okay.
Kyle Korver, Vooch.
The Vooch era. I forgot about that.
I'm trying to think. I know there's others, and I think Thaddeus Young ended up with the Bulls. Who was what's his name? He played with Jordan, Foreigner, and then he went to the Sixers. He was in the documentary too. Oh my god, I should remember his name.
I forget. Yeah.
Either way, we've got options there.
I'm trying to think of 76ers Lakers.
What's his name? The guy, well, he never actually played a game for us, so it wouldn't work. The center, he hurt his knee bowling.
Oh yeah, Bynum.
Andrew Bynum.
That was what. Yeah, that was what I was initially thinking. It's like I don't know if they're gonna count that.
Dwight Howard would for sure work.
Okay. Yeah.
I know there's another one. Lou didn't play. Did Lou play for the Lakers? Lou will.
Oh,
Swaggy P. We gotta go Swaggy P.
Oh, Nick Young. Yeah, Nick Young. No, yeah, absolutely.
Nick Young, Swaggy P. Let's go.
2%. I feel like for first round draft pick, I'm pretty sure you could for one block, you could easily just go Dwight Howard.
Oh yeah, Dwight would be easy one.
Yeah.
Dwight would definitely work. I'm debating if Elfrid Payton was a first-round pick and if he had 1 steal per game per season. I feel like he should.
If you want to, like, I'll say this as a Magic fan. If you want to live by the Payton and die by the Payton, go right on ahead.
We do, man. We always live and die by the Payton. I am just not very confident that he has a steal per game. I want to do it. I just don't want to tank our. I don't want to tank our.
You don't want to heave? You don't have heave stats?
I do want to heave. Let's put it on the team stats. Let's do it.
Elfrid Payton.
Oh my God! Please. No. Oh wait, I didn't click it. Okay. Yes.
Oh my God.
0.02. Let's go, Elfrid Payton. I gotta look that up. How many steals did he have? Hold on, let me. Okay, while you do that, think of a bull for 1 block and 1 steal. I feel like Jordan probably works for both of those at some point.
Yeah, I feel like Jordan. I'm trying to think if Joakim Noah is.
What about what's his name? The 3-point shooter. Oh, what was his name? Started with an H.
What era?
Oh, I bet Derrick Rose probably works for either of those.
For a steal, maybe. I don't know about block.
Let's do Rose for a steal.
Sounds like we're on Hollywood Squares. I'll do Derrick Rose for the steal.
Oh, it said already used, and that freaked me out, dude. Yeah. That delay freaked me out. I was like, no way he didn't have a steal. Joakim Noah? Carlos Boozer?
Ooh, Boozer might be the one. I think Boozer might be the better play here.
What's going on with this?
I don't know. So if you can't see it on the YouTube, my page is constantly refreshing because of like all of the ads that are just coming in.
It is, dude. Oh, Boozer doesn't have a block per game?
What?
Hold on. I gotta look that up. Carlos Boozer?
If it's Joakim Noah, I'm going to be pissed.
Well, Noah has to have a block. No, Boozer never had a block per game in his whole career for a season.
Really?
The closest was Cleveland in his second year. He had 0.7.
How the hell did we get from like, oh yeah, Elfrid Payton? That might be, that's going to be, I'm too scared. But Boozer.
Wow, Boozer was not
it.
Well, now we just got to do Dennis Rodman to, like, be safe.
Well, Rodman was more rebounds. I don't know if he was more blocks.
You don't think he just has a block per game out of being down there?
He probably,
Or Joakim Noah. I'd rather go Rodman over Noah.
Yeah, I'd rather go Rodman.
I'm going to be so upset. Oh, my God.
He was more rebounds, right?
I'd still got to be a block. Is a block per game? I didn't realize that was not a thing that just everybody got pretty much.
I'm just going to look up because I know it's cheating, but whatever. I'm going to look up Joakim Noah.
Dennis Rodman.
I'm surprised that Rodman didn't
Oh, my gosh.
Was I right about Joakim Noah?
No, I didn't look. Rodman had 0.9 for Detroit in 91-92, but he never had an average of a block per game.
Joakim Noah, his second season, 1.4, then 1.6, 1.5, 1.
All right.
All the man did was block, and so I just need to have more confidence in myself.
Of course we didn't go with him.
Kevin's probably listening to this having an aneurysm. as if the Eagles Sixers debate wasn't an aneurysm enough, this may have driven him to death.
I am so upset.
Oh yeah, me too. That I should have been more demanding and said, "Oh yeah, Joakim Noah."
I mean, yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. All right. Well, do you have anybody specific you'd like to go Sixers Bulls? Just to get our last two?
Go Vooch. I want to see that percentage.
How do you spell it?
VUC.
UC? Yeah, there he is. Okay.
That's all you need to know.
1%. Wow. 1%. People do forget he was on the Sixers. I was so mad when they traded him to Orlando.
Oh, I liked him. I liked it when they traded him. I know that people they like to make fun of that trade, but I was happy when we got him.
So would you rather go Lakers 1 block or Lakers 1 steal to finish it off here, as we are going to have an imperfect board?
I mean, who cares anymore?
Well, who do we think is going to be less? Because block, I obviously go Shaq. That's an easy one. Steals, I bet Kobe has it.
Derek Fisher have one steal a game.
Derek Fisher. Now we're going to try to get too fancy with it. We just got to at least fill one more square. Paul Gasol, probably.
Paul Gasol's probably got a block. Andrew Bynum's probably got a block.
Vlade Divac. Do we think Josh Hart had it while he was there? I don't know.
Vlade.
For what? For steal? For block? How does he spell that?
Blade.
There he is. Oh, here's the first one popped up. For steal, right? Or block? Which one did I click? Did I click the right one? Okay, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Bummer, dude. Bummer. That's a bummer. All right, so to tell you where we were, if I could get it to click off, everything's frozen now. There we go. We can keep guessing if we want. To wrap it up here, Lakers, Sixers, we went Swaggy P. Lakers 1 block, we went Vlade Divac. Because we stink, we didn't get to fill out 1 steal per game in Lakers. Sixers, Bulls, we went with Vooch. Bulls 1 block. We were stumped twice, which is why we were in the situation we are in. Joakim Noah worked, and I'm upset.
To be fair, the first guest was Joakim Noah, but I did not want to be a disrespectful guest.
Oh, we should have went with it. Bulls 1 steal per game. We went with Derrick Rose. 76ers, first round pick, Ben Simmons. First round draft pick, 1 block, Dwight Howard. First round draft pick, 1 steal per game, Elfrid Payton at a 0.1%. Our guest jumped it up to a 0.1. It was a 0.02. I'm wondering if it'll actually show us. It doesn't look like it's going to show me I don't want to see Derrick Rose stats. I wondered if it'll show me the summary where I can talk about the most popular answers, because it usually does that, but it doesn't look like it's, oh, here we go. No thanks. Maybe later. Let's see if it'll give me the, oh my gosh, you're right. This refresh is crazy. 28 options at 1 block per game.
Wow.
Alex Caruso works. I am so upset. Robin Lopez, Taj Gibson, Joakim Noah, Paul Gasol even works. Omar Asik, that's a good one.
Wow.
Ben Wallace, Drew Gooden, Tyrus Jones, Tyson Chandler. I am getting more upset as we go. All right, I'm going to stop talking about it now.
Oh, Joakim Noah would have been 23%. Wow.
Yeah. Popular answers, 76ers, Lakers, Wilt Chamberlain, Lakers 1 block, Shaq, which is what we talked about, so I'm glad we didn't go with that one. Lakers 1 steal was Kobe. Bulls, 70. Did I even say Jimmy Butler? Because that's crazy, because I don't think I did.
No, we didn't say Jimmy Butler for Sixers.
Oh, wow. Bulls, 1 block per game, Joakim Noah, as they rub it in it even more. Bulls 1 steal per game, Michael Jordan. 76ers first round pick, Joel Embiid. First round pick, 1 block. Hakeem, first round pick, 1 steal. Chris Paul wraps up an episode here on the Drive and Dish NBA podcast.
If you take anything from this episode, that you should
go with your gut.
Go with your gut more often.
It's so annoying, dude. Alex Caruso has 1 block per game, but Carlos Boozer didn't. That's how the episode ends right there. I'm done.